you stand? Stand right there and look toward him. I'm gonna take your flowers just for a minute. She's gonna hold it for you. Don't be riding her. We get married. You can be seated, please. Now, we're here again, like you were 8 years ago. And Danyella and David, when you first joined hands and hearts in marriage 8 years ago, you didn't know what life was going to be around the bend and what it was going to hold in your stead. But here you are. You promised to love, you promised to honor and cherish one another through everything. And then life happens and difficult times happen, but you made it through it. And God has blessed you. And He's kept you and He's brought you to a place now where you're stronger and wiser, I'm sure, of what life is about and what marriage is about and what it takes to be married. By God's grace and God's strength, you are stronger than you've ever been, and we thank the Lord for that. And we're thankful that this congregation can be here and not only support but encourage you to have a strong marriage, a good marriage, and a lifelong marriage. Since all that's been said, would you like to renew your vows today?
Yes.
If I'm going to ask you to speak up just a little bit so we can get it on YouTube, okay? You can't whisper it.
Yes.
Okay. Jesus Christ reminds us that at the beginning, the Creator made us male and female and said, "For this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother and shall cleave to his wife, and then they shall be one flesh." God loves us and created us to love others. Our lives find completion only as we love and are loved in return. Together we can become what we could never be separately. Marriage is of God. He created it, He instituted, and He said that it shall be good for a man. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8 is very familiar scriptures. We call it the love chapter. I would like to take a moment to read at least a portion of it. It says, "Love is patient." I know that defines both of you, patience, right? Because you're so patient. And then it says, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it's not rude, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered. I'm just going to pause for dramatic effect right there. It is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Right? Okay, I was just checking. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects. It always trusts, always hopes, and it always perseveres. And I love this last part. Love never, ever fails. And so that's why we're here today. As you celebrate here today and as you reflect over the years as husband and wife, do you now wish to reaffirm the vows you took 8 years ago?
Yes.
Very good. I want you to hold hands. No hitting. David, will you continue to have Danyella as your wife and continue to love her in this marriage?
Yes.
That's as loud as he gets. He said yes,
Yes.
everybody. Do you reaffirm your love for her, and will you love, honor, and cherish her in sickness and in health, for richer, for poor, for better, for worse, forsaking all others, being faithful to her for as long as you both shall live?
Yes.
Danyella, will you continue to have David as your husband and continue to love him in this marriage?
Yes.
Do you reaffirm your love for him, and will you love, honor, and cherish him in sickness and in health, for richer or poor, for better, for worse, and forsaking all others, being faithful to him for as long as you both shall live?
Yes.
Marriage is a commitment. I want you to listen just real careful. I know you've been married for a while and you went through some things, and I'm not talking to newlyweds, and I thank the Lord for your recommitment to each other. But marriage is a commitment. There's going to be days that you feel like you love them and days that you feel close as far as your feelings are concerned, but feelings are very precarious. They'll be up one day and down the next, and you know that, I'm sure. But marriage is a commitment. Just as God's committed to us his only begotten Son, and his Son's committed to us his life so that he might be sacrificed for our salvation. Marriage is a commitment one to another, whether you feel it or not. Some days you ain't going to like each other, but your love is committed to one another, and that will hold strong. I want you to make sure that you remember those words, and if you don't remember, it's going to be on YouTube so you can replay it. And I've got witness that I've told you. Marriage is a commitment to learning to care for one another in mutually fulfilling ways. It is not an act, but a lifelong relationship, always in the making. Marriage deepens and enriches every facet of your life. Happiness is fuller, memories are fresher, commitment is stronger, even anger is felt more strongly and passes more quickly because of marriage. Marriage understands and marriage forgives the mistakes life is unable to avoid. And let's face it, all of us have made mistakes in life. But forgiveness is greater than the mistake, and that is the most beautiful thing I think that God has blessed us with. It encourages, it nurtures new life, new experiences, and new ways of expressing a love that is deeper than life itself. When two people pledge their love and care for each other in marriage, they create a spirit unique unto themselves, which binds them closer than any spoken or written words. Marriage is a promise made in the hearts of two people who love each other, and the potential of marriage requires a lifetime to fulfill. Let me just take it from me. Marriage is a learning experience. David, honey, you're going to be learning about her for the rest of your life and never know the first thing you didn't know in the beginning, hardly. But that's the joy of marrying a woman, because she's always changing, ever changing. And about the time you think you figured it out, that's when she'll change again. And that's a beautiful thing, because that way you never get bored, you never get comfortable. You're always on the edge of the seat wondering what's going to happen next. Aren't you excited to renew your vows now? Danyella, marriage is a commitment. It's love that's committed to him more than anybody else. And the Bible tells us in the beginning that God created man and woman, and as he created man and woman, he made them and to be together. And they united as one person. They're no longer two. You are one person. You're connected to the very Spirit. That's why the Bible tells us not to be unequally yoked, because you don't want to be connected to the wrong spirit. But if you're connected to the right spirit, it will truly make you stronger, more powerful in your own spirit. It will give you confidence beyond yourself. It'll cause you to grow and be more of what you could be, that God's created you to be. So Danyella, marriage is a commitment. He says you, whether the world thinks it or not, you are his helpmeet. You're here to make him look good. And buddy, you got your work cut out for you.
She got me in this.
That's right. She got him in a suit. But you're to make him look good, to be a better man, to lift him up when he's low. to encourage and strengthen him, to make sure he knows that you're by his side and he doesn't have to worry. David and Danyella, we're proud that you're renewing your vows. We're not only proud of that, we're thankful that God has done a work in both of you and caused you to renew your commitment to one another as well as to the Lord. Man, this is the best renewal marriage I've ever partaken of so far, simply because your life is transformed. He made you from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and he's still going to work on you from this day until the day you leave this world. Marriage is a commitment. Marriage is a promise made in the hearts of both of you for one another. And let me tell you something, marriage is a lifetime. I want to repeat that one because some people don't realize that one. Marriage truly is for a lifetime. You've made the vows before, and thank the Lord you're here now to make the vows. Even though you went through a vow in your life, you have back on the mountaintop, and you made the vows through sickness or health, or through richer or poor, through good times and bad times, through whatever you're going through, you're stick together. As I mentioned to you, some days you might not like each other, but that doesn't mean you don't love one another. Keep that commitment. When the times are difficult and life is rough, remember, you made a commitment to God and to each other in front of this wonderful audience. David and Danyella, today you have renewed the promises and the vows you've made to each other on your wedding day. You have symbolized the renewal of the marriage union by the joining of hands and the taking of your vows. It is with great pleasure. I'm sorry, Danyella, did you have something you want to say too? Hang on. Hang on. I want to see you cry, David.
I was praying to God, asking him to help me live my life without you. God took the drugs and alcohol from both of us. On December 25th, Christmas Day, you came to church and committed your life to God. I see Christ in you. There is peace in you. We decided to mend our marriage with Christ at the head. Our home has peace. We used to live as two separate people, doing our own thing, focused on ourselves, disregarding the other one. Now we live for each other, supporting, uplifting, encouraging, and concerned about the other one. Today we are renewing our vows. The old is gone, and the new is here. We are now one. God had a plan.
Amen. I know the answer, but David, do you want to say anything? That's what I thought. Man of many words. David and Danyella, today you've renewed the promises and vows you made to each other on your wedding day. You have symbolized the renewal of the marriage union by the joining of hands and the taking of vows. It is with tremendous pleasure that I conclude the ceremony of this renewing of your vows of marriage that joins you and forever binds you as husband and wife. I would like you to celebrate, not yet, I'd like to celebrate this wonderful renewal of vows with a sign of affection. You can now re-kiss your bride.
It's got lipstick on.
Congratulations. David and Danyella, there's a meal prepared, if you don't know, in the back in the dining hall. And what we'd like to do is they're going to be dismissed for a moment. And I'm going to get you to walk back. They can all shake your hands and give you a big hug or whatever they want to give you. And then we'll all, after they're back in the back and you go through, I want you to make sure you go back first. They would like to take a few pictures, and you all go back and wait in the dining hall, and then they'll come in here in just a few minutes, okay? So be a little bit patient with us. They're going to walk back. You just go ahead and go. And then as we dismiss, you just go ahead and make sure you give them the well wishes, and then we'll head back to the dining hall. Thank you guys for being here today. And again, there's plenty of food. Barry's cooking it, I think. So I guarantee you there's plenty of food. If you would like to just come, and you can be dismissed, and we'll proceed to the dining hall.